In the quiet hush of a world mourning, we pause to remember a man whose life became a beacon of hope, humility, and compassion. Pope Francis, known to many as the spiritual father of the world, has completed his earthly pilgrimage and returned to the eternal home of the Father. His passing marks the end of an era, yet his legacy endures, etched into the hearts of millions who found solace, inspiration, and guidance in his gentle words and tireless deeds. Born Jorge Mario Bergoglio in Buenos Aires, Argentina, he rose from humble beginnings to become the first pope from the Americas and the first Jesuit to hold the papal office. From the moment he stepped onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, he captivated the world not with grand gestures, but with profound simplicity. He greeted the faithful not as a distant figure of authority, but as a brother, asking for their prayers before offering his own blessing. This humility would become the hallmark of his papacy. Throughout his years as shepherd of the Catholic Church, Pope Francis embodied the Gospel's call to mercy. He reached out to the marginalized, embraced the poor, and spoke boldly for justice. He reminded the world that the Church is not a fortress to be defended, but a field hospital for the wounded. His vision was one of inclusion, where no one, regardless of background, circumstance, or belief, was beyond the reach of God's love. In the corridors of the Vatican, he walked with a quiet dignity. Yet his heart was always with those on the peripheries, the refugees seeking safety, the prisoners longing for redemption, the sick and the suffering yearning for comfort. He washed the feet of prisoners and immigrants, knelt before the disabled, and listened with compassion to those whose voices often go unheard. His actions spoke louder than any homily, revealing a shepherd who truly knew the scent of his sheep. Pope Francis's teachings challenged the Church and the world to care for creation, to protect the environment as a sacred trust, and to recognize the interconnectedness of all humanity. His encyclical, Laudato Si, called for a culture of care, urging nations and individuals alike to defend our common home. He reminded us that the cry of the earth is inseparable from the cry of the poor. He was a bridge builder, seeking dialogue where there was division and reconciliation where there was discord. In a world fractured by conflict and suspicion, he extended the hand of friendship to leaders of other faiths and cultures, believing that peace begins with understanding. He traveled to the farthest corners of the globe, bringing messages of hope and solidarity to those often overlooked. Yet, it was in the small, everyday gestures that Pope Francis's spirit shone most brightly. He chose to live in a modest guest house rather than the apostolic palace, dined with the homeless, and rode in a simple car. He reminded us that greatness is found not in power or prestige, but in service and self-giving love. Now, as we imagine him seated among the clouds, gazing with both peace and sadness toward the dome of St. Peter's, we sense the weight of his departure. The Vatican, bathed in the golden light of sunset, becomes a symbol of the Church's sacred farewell, a moment suspended between earth and heaven. The faithful gather in silent prayer, candles flickering in the twilight as bells toll across the city, echoing the collective grief and gratitude of a world in mourning. In this solemn hour, we offer prayers for his soul, a soul that lived humbly, loved deeply, and served faithfully. We remember his words, "Let us not lose hope. Let us never allow it to be extinguished in our hearts." Even in his absence, his message endures, urging us to carry forward the light of hope, to be instruments of peace and compassion in our own lives. May the Lord welcome Pope Francis into everlasting glory, enfolding him in the embrace of divine mercy. May perpetual light shine upon him, illuminating the path for all who seek the truth he so passionately proclaimed. As we reflect on his journey, we are reminded that the measure of a life is not found in titles or honors, but in the love one gives and the lives one touches. Let us honor his memory by following his example, by reaching out to the forgotten, standing with the vulnerable, and building bridges of understanding. Let us strive to be a church that is poor and for the poor, a community of disciples marked by joy, humility, and compassion. As the sun sets over the eternal city, casting long shadows across the ancient stones of St. Peter's, we entrust Pope Francis to the care of the Father. His earthly journey has ended, but his spirit lives on in the countless acts of kindness he inspired, in the prayers whispered in every language, in the hope rekindled in weary hearts. May we, too, gaze toward the horizon with faith, trusting that love endures beyond the limits of time and space. May we remember that every act of mercy, every gesture of solidarity, every word of encouragement becomes a testament to the gospel he lived so fully. In the days to come, as the world mourns and remembers, may we find comfort in the assurance that nothing is lost in God's hands. The shepherd has returned to the fold, the pilgrim has reached his destination, the servant has entered into joy. Eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon him. May his soul, and the souls of all the faithful departed, through the mercy of God, rest in peace. Amen.
Thank you for watching this video. If you found the content meaningful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Faith and Glory channel so you won't miss out on more inspiring videos about faith and life values. See you in the next video!